Hey, you guys, good morning or good afternoon, whichever it is. This is Chapter 1 Geometry Review Day. I'm doing this for my first, third, and fifth period classes. My second period class is welcome to look at it as well if it helps you prepare. But we're doing this today because I am not in class, but I wanted to make sure that you had the same review everybody else did. First, third, and fifth period class, since we're meeting on a Friday, your test day is going to be Tuesday. So any homework I assign will have to be done before you come to class on Tuesday. And if it's my second period class that's listening to me, we did the review yesterday, and so your test will be Monday, and all your work has to be turned in before you come to class on Monday. All right, then, let's go ahead and see what we have. All right, so go into your computer, go into Canvas, click on modules. When you're in modules, go ahead and scroll down to where you see where it says Chapter 1 Review. So we're going to click on that, and this is everything that you need to know for today. You're going to need some earbuds, some AirPods, or maybe some headphones. All right, we're just waiting for the review day to pop up, and then I'm going to go over what we're going to do. All right, so here's the material for our Chapter 1 review day. The agenda is attached below. So we're going to click right here where it says agenda for today. Okay, we're going to click on that agenda. All right, it opened up at the bottom of my page, so I'm going to open it up for you. For today's warm-up, you will need to do the following. Make sure that your homework assignment from Wednesday has been uploaded and submitted in Canvas. This was the homework worksheet on angle relationships. If you have not uploaded or submitted it, do that right now, please. Pause me if you need to. All right, after you've uploaded that, you're going to go to your Tools for Geometry section in your spiral notebook. You're going to number wherever we left off at. It's somewhere in the 30s. You're going to copy these terms and definitions below. These are left over from angle relationships that we did. So you're going to copy the definition of vertical angles, two angles across from each other on intersecting lines. They are always congruent. They only share a vertex. Adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two angles that are next to each other, and they share a common side. They also share a vertex. Complementary angles. Any two angles whose sum equals 90 degrees. Supplementary angles, any two angles whose sum is 180 degrees. And linear pair, two angles that are adjacent and supplementary, they form a straight line. Now you can pause this at any time or back up because I'm just reading those. I know it's going to take you a little bit longer to write them down. All right, the next thing I want you to do is to go ahead and pause this and go ahead and grade your homework from Wednesday night. So you have this attachment, so you're not really waiting for me to go down and look at it, but here are problems 1 through 8, and you have problems 9 through 17. Now remember, you had to do problems 1, 2, and 3, and then after that, 4 through 17, you either chose just odds or just evens. All right, for the first half of class time today, you're going to be using your earbuds, your AirPods, your headphones, whatever, and you're going to watch this video right here. This is the Chapter 1 review video. Pause it as you need to. As you work the problems, I need you to leave space in between the problems as we do them. We're going to be doing, let's say we do problem 1 through 3. So we work problem 1, work problem 2, work problem 3. Let's say we're skipping 4. I need you to write down problem 4 and skip about 5 lines. And let's say problem 5 is the next one. So that's what I want you to do. So everything is in chronological order from 1 to 38. So we're going to be doing the ones that we don't do for homeworks, but you have to upload all the problems. So do all the problems that we did in class. That is going to be our class time review for today. And then the second half of class, what you're going to do is you're going to be working on your Chapter 1 study guide, the ones we didn't do. That's going to be your homework. Then you need to upload and submit the entire study guide with all the problems and work them in order from 1 to 38, which I already said. So here is your homework for tonight. Finish study guide and submit. No work is no credit. Study for your test. The Chapter 1 test is Tuesday. I need to fix that correction right there. Tuesday, 10/6/20. And then you're going to finish your segments lab. All of your number 7 homework above should be submitted either by Monday evening or before you come to class on Tuesday. All right, so I'm going to close out of this. And like I said, this is right there in Canvas. It says agenda attached, and it was the first one down here that said agenda for today. All right, and it tells you up here the same thing I just went through. Okay, it's just kind of short and concise. I put a note that you're going to need to memorize the distance and midpoint formula. Right underneath the agenda for today, these are the class notes for today. So these are going to be all the problems that we do. Okay, and then I went ahead and put the segment measurement lab here so you didn't have to look for it, so you could finish that and upload it. And then I also went ahead and attached the study guide in case you wanted to upload it right here. I put everything for the review on this one page. All right, so we're going to go on to practicing. So if you would either open up your notes to the assignments page, or if you're writing them in your notebook, just go ahead and open it up, and at the top, if you would put Chapter 1 Study Guide. So this is going to be Chapter 1 Study Guide. If you would write that up at the top of your page, if you're writing in your notes. If you're writing on this paper and you printed it out, there's no need for you to write that. All right, so you're going to do problems 1 through 4. So go ahead and number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you don't need to leave any spaces in between. We're going to do problem 5 and 6. All right, 5. How many planes are shown in the figure? All right, so I'm going to color them in. Okay, so here's 1. It's on the end on the right, and here's 2. It's on the end on the left. All right, so there's 2. 3 is the triangle in the back. And 4 is the triangle in the front. Now, we agreed in our second period class that the last one was going to be this flat plane here. And we were going to count this square right here as part of that plane. So that's going to be 5. 5 planes. All right, the next question says, give another name for plane W. All right, so let's look at plane W. This is plane W. You cannot use the W, okay, because it's not a point. It's just naming the plane. You have to write the word plane and then choose any of the points, either A, B, C, or D. You have to choose 3 of those. I'm just going to put plane A, B, C. All right, so you're going to do 7 and 8 on your own later, so go ahead and write them. We're going to scroll down, go ahead and write number 9, and we're going to go to number 10, and we're going to do it. In the diagram below, if JL, is the entire segment here, is 10x minus 2, and JK, and I like to label as I go, when in doubt, draw it out, is 5x minus 8, and KL is 7x minus 12. Find KL. All right, so when we look at this, this is the segment addition postulate. Segment JK plus segment KL equals segment JL. Okay, so we're going to take and we're going to substitute. For JK, we're going to put 5x minus 8. For KL, we're going to add 7x minus 12. We're going to set it equal to JL, which is 10x minus 2. All right, we're going to combine like terms on the left. 5x and 7x make 12x. And then negative 8 and negative 12 make negative 20. Just going to bring the rest of it down. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides. And that's going to be 2x. At the same time, I'm going to add 20 to both sides. And that's going to give me 18. I'm going to divide by 2, and x is 9. Now, always go back up to your problem and see what they were asking. They want to know KL. So let's find KL. This is KL. So KL equals 7 times 9 minus 12. So that's 63 minus 12. So KL equals 51. I'm going to box my answer. And I'm going to go back and erase some unnecessary stuff so it's not too cluttered. All right, that was the segment addition postulate. All right, for number 11, go ahead and write it down, and we're just going to draw a picture. You're going to end up doing this one for homework. I want to draw this picture, though, because when in doubt, draw it out. It says that S is the midpoint. There we go. Of segment RT. RT. So you want to make sure you have that picture for number 11. Okay? All right, we're going to move over and we're going to do number 12. If line Y bisects segment AC, so that means that this line right here, make my pen work again, sorry about that. This line right here is bisecting segment AC. All right, if it bisects it, that means it cuts it into two equal pieces. Those pieces are congruent. All right, so let's see what else we know. We know that AB is 4 minus 5x. We know that BC is 2x plus 25. And we know that they are equal. So we know that AB is equal to BC. So AB is 4 minus 5x, and BC is 2x plus 25. All right, we're going to isolate the variable. We are going to subtract 2x from both sides. I paused for a minute because I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do that, but I already did it, so I'm going to do it. We are going to subtract 4 from both sides. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by -7, getting -3. They want us to find AC, so we have to go back to our problem and see AC. Okay, they want the whole thing. So if they want AC, I just need to figure out which one of those I want to double. So I'm going to go ahead and double BC. I'm going to double 2 times -3 plus 25. All right, so I have 2 times -6 plus 25. Running out of room a little bit. So we have 25 minus 6, which is 19. So 2 times 19. So segment AC, when I multiply 2 times 19, I'm going to get 38. It is 38 units long. All right, so that was number 12. All right, go ahead and write number 13 and skip some room. We're going to move on to the next page, and I want you to go ahead and write the distance and the midpoint formula. These are the two you're going to have to memorize. See if you can write it from memory before I start writing it, or pause me. All right, so we have D equals the square root of, we're going to do x sub 2 minus x sub 1, square it, plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1, square it. All right, so the midpoint formula, I'm going to put capital M equals, you're going to take your two x's, x sub 1 plus x sub 2, you're going to add them together and divide them by 2. And then you're going to take your two y's, y plus 1 plus y plus 2, add them together and divide them by 2. So you're going to want to memorize those. Go ahead and write down number 14 and just leave some space. We're going to go do number 15 now. So it says to find BC if this. Okay, so BC, that's a segment, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write that B is the coordinate 8, -7, and C is the coordinate -4, -2. So we're looking for BC. Now, it didn't really tell us right here, are we looking for midpoint or distance? When you see BC without a bar over it, that means what is the length of BC, or what is the measure of BC, okay? So it actually did tell you that it wanted length or distance. What is the distance from B to C? All right, so we know this is the distance formula. All right, so we're going to do, since we're finding BC, I'm going to put BC instead of D, because BC is the distance I'm looking for. So I'm going to do the square root of, just going to go ahead and get my formula ready. I'm going to subtract my x's first. So what I like to do is I like to circle my x's. So I'm going to do it, I'm going to do -4 minus 8. So what I did is I did the -4 and I did minus the 8. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do my y's. And since I started on the bottom one for my x's, I have to start on the bottom one for my y's. So that's going to be -2 minus -7. You know, a minus and negative makes that a positive. Okay, so that kind of helped me. Writing them vertically like that is a lot more helpful than the way they have them written, which is horizontally. Because if you look at them horizontally, a lot of times people either group these two together, and they shouldn't be doing that. Or they maybe get a Y with an X, and they shouldn't be doing that. But when you write them vertically like I did them, it's a lot easier to do. Our brain likes it better. All right, -4 and -8 make -12. And then -2 and 7 make 5. So we know that -12 squared is 144. And 5 squared is 69. So the square root of 169, BC, is 13 units long. So that was distance. All right, I'm not going to do 16, 17, or 18. But the first thing I do want to make sure you can do for number 16 is tell me what their coordinates are. So what is the coordinate for V? And what is the coordinate for W? So if I was going to show you how to figure out the coordinates, I want you to pretend like you are standing at the origin. And you're always going to go left or right first, okay? Then after you decide whether or not you're going to go left to right, that's when you decide whether or not you're going to go up or down. So if I'm standing at the origin, I'm going to go to V. I'm right here. I don't go left or right anywhere. So I go 0 to the left or right. And then I go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 0, 4 for V. Now for W, I'm standing at the origin. I go 2 to the left, so that's -2. And I go 2 down, so that's -2. I just wanted to make sure you felt comfortable with the coordinates. Now you're going to have to find the distance. All right, so given the graph below, find WV, that's distance. For 14, it said find ST, that was distance. For 17, find PQ, that's distance. Number 18 says find the coordinates of the midpoint. Okay, let's do 19 then. Leave at least 5 lines or so in between those so you have enough room to show your work. So we're going to do 19. It says to find the coordinates of Z if Y is the midpoint. All right, I chose this one because it's the harder of the two. So what I'm going to do is when in doubt, draw it out. I'm going to draw me a segment. I'm going to draw me a midpoint. I'm going to look. Find the coordinates of Z. Okay, I'm going to let this one be Z. If Y is the midpoint of X, Z. All right, there's my picture. All right, so now let's do some labeling. Okay, I know that X is -10, 9. I know that Y is negative 4, 8. And z is what they want me to find. So I'm going to call it x, y. Okay, so remember the formula. M subscript x is going to be take your two x's, add them together, and divide by 2. M subscript y, those are both your midpoint coordinates. Take your two y's, add them together, divide by 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill in. So I'm going to do another color here so I don't confuse you. And I'm going to go find my first x1. Well, that's this one right here. This is going to be x sub 1, y sub 1. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm at it and go ahead and put y sub 1 there. Okay, so my x sub 1 is negative 10. So I'm going to erase this. I'm going to put negative 10. All right, my y sub 1 is 9. So I'm going to erase my y sub 1 and put 9. All right, let's see what else I know. I've done those two. Well, this is my midpoint x and my midpoint y coordinates. So I've got to go put my midpoint x coordinate, M subscript x, right there. So that's going to be negative 4. So negative 4 goes here. We're going to do negative 4. And then my M subscript y is going to be my y coordinate of my midpoint, and that's 8. All right, now you see that we're missing the xy. So remember, this is what I did the other day, just to make it not so confusing. I went and erased the little subscript 2's. So all I had were an x and a y. Now, if you were just trying to find the midpoint, you would add your two x's, divide by 2, and add your two y's and divide by 2. But we're not trying to find that. We're trying to find the endpoint. The endpoint that I'm trying to find is z. Right here. That's what I'm looking for. All right. So the opposite of divide by 2 is multiply both sides by 2. These two cancel. I get negative 8 equals negative 10 plus x. I'm going to add 10 to both sides. I get that x is 2. All right. Now for my y coordinate, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. These two cancel. 2 times 8 is 16 equals 9 plus y. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides. I'm going to switch the y. It's going to be 7. So they want to know what the coordinates of z are. So z is 2, 7. So that's my answer right there, 2, 7. That is my endpoint. All right, the next section are angle measures. So write down number 20, skip 5 lines. We're going to do number 21. All right, so let's see what we know. If the measure of angle PQS is 16 degrees, all right, I'm going to write 16 in there. The measure of SQR is 9x plus 17. So I'm going to put that in there. And the measure of PQR, which PQR, that's the entire angle, okay, the whole thing, is 12x minus 6. So this is the angle addition postulate, where you have two smaller angles, 16 plus 9x plus 17 equal to 12x minus 6. All right, so we'll combine like terms on the left, and I have 9x plus 33 equals 12x minus 6. I'm going to subtract 9x from both sides. I'm going to get 3x. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. I'm going to get 39. I'm going to divide by 3, and x is 13. Now, always go back to the question and see, what did you want to know? They want to know what PQR is. So I'm going to trace it. PQR. All right, so here we have PQR. So the measure of angle PQR is 12 times 13 minus 6. Now I'm going to pause just for a minute because a lot of the time I don't give you time to pick up a calculator. So go ahead and do 12 times 13. You should have got 156. And then when you subtract 6, you should have got 150. Now we're doing angles, so I have to put the little degree sign right there. Before we were just measuring and doing segments. All right, if you have the papers in front of you, you got to flip and go to the next page. We're going to do the next one. We're going to do 22. In the diagram below, angle WXZ is a right angle. WXZ. Okay, so I'm going to put a box right there. I've taken care of that information. If the measure of WXV, okay, so the measure of angle WXV is 11 more than 3 times, okay, and now I got to go find something else out. I need to go find out what the measure of angle WXY is going to be. So WXY, I'm going to call that A. I usually use X, but I don't want to use X because they've already used it. So the measure of WXY is going to be A. So let me go back to WXV. If the measure of WXV is 11 more than 3 times the measure of WXY, which is A, and the measure of angle, I'm going to try to get a different pen going on here so I can trace it. So WXV, I'm going to go ahead and put that this is 3A plus 11. Now I'm going to talk about this part. The measure of YXV. Okay, that's that whole angle right there, right? Is 139 degrees. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with what we know. So this whole thing here is 139 degrees. Well, this is the angle addition theorem, where we're going to take the measure of angle WXY and add it to the measure of angle WXV and set it equal to 139, which is actually, I'll write the angle there instead of a number, angle YXV. Okay, now I'll go substitute. So the measure of WXY is the A, plus the measure of WXV is the 3A plus 11, equals 139. All right, so 1A and 3A make 4A. And then we're going to subtract 11 from both sides. We're going to have 4A equals 128. We're going to divide by 4. A equals 32. All right, I'm going to go erase some stuff in my picture for a minute so it doesn't look too busy. All right, next it says, find the measure of angle YXZ. So YXZ. Well, we know that this was A and it was 32. And if they both are complementary, that means they add together and equal 90. So to find the measure of angle YXZ, I'm just going to take 90 and subtract 32 from it. So that's going to be 58 degrees. Excuse the beeping behind me. All right. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. We're going to skip 23, so leave room for it. We're going to skip 24, leave room for it. We're going to go down here and we're going to do these. Excuse the announcements.
Wishing good luck tonight to our JV football versus Leon. Both our volleyball teams, varsity and JV, also versus Leon, and our girls go under tournament. Go Seabrook.
All right, sorry, those were the announcements from yesterday. All right, so we're going to go down to the bottom and we're going to do numbers 25 through 30. All right, for number 25, which diagram shows adjacent angles? Now, what you should be doing is you should be pausing me and you do the answer, and then unpause me and listen to see if you did the answer right. That's going to be the easiest way for you to be studying. All right, adjacent angles. So we know for sure that C, these are adjacent angles. We know that D, that angle 1 and 2 are adjacent angles. And for F, we know that 1 and 2, angles 1 and 2 are adjacent angles, because adjacent angles have a common side that they share and a common vertex that they share. All right, which diagram shows vertical angles? Well, I always think of X marks the spot. And if there's an X, I'm pretty sure there might be a vertical angle there. So definitely for B. Now, although there are some more X's in the other pictures, we're only talking about angles 1 and 2. All right, 27. Which diagram shows complementary angles? Well, that's going to be A, because if I added those together, that's going to be 90. And then I'm looking around to see if anything else has numbers in it or if I see a 90-degree box. All right, F, because if this is 90, then these two right here together would have to be 90. All right, so A and F. All right, I always try to erase it so I don't confuse you. Which diagram shows supplementary angles? Well, we definitely know that D does. And then if you add 135 and 45, that's also going to be supplementary. All right, and then the last one, what's a linear pair? Well, that's going to be this one, because this is a line, it's 180, and this is adjacent. So that's D. All right, let's look at number 30. Well, just looking at those, that's X marks the spot. That's vertical, so they're going to be equal. So 10x plus 1 equals 12x minus 5. I'm going to subtract 10x from both sides and get 2x. I'm going to add 5 to both sides and get 6. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and get 3. All right, go ahead and write 31, but skip some space because we're not going to do it. Do the same thing for 32 and 33. We're going to go to 34. All right, angle G and H are complementary. Boom, they equal 90 degrees, right? So we're going to say 6x minus 15 plus 3x plus 6 equals 90. So 6x and 3x make 9x, and negative 15 and 6 make negative 9. I'm going to add 9 to both sides. That's going to give me 99. And I'm going to divide by 9, and that's going to give me 11. But always go back and see what they want. They want the measure of angle H. All right, so let me choose another color. The measure of angle H is 3 times 11 plus 6. So 33 plus 6, which is 39 degrees. Don't forget, because we're doing angles. All right, go ahead and number 35 through 38 and leave room about 4 or 5 spaces for each problem. The last one we're going to do is number 38. And whatever we haven't done is what you're going to do for homework. A good way to study for this test is the study guide. Another good way is to read all your tools for geometry terms and maybe go back and make corrections, like redo a homework problem that you missed. All right, if SV is perpendicular to RT, all right, that tells me there's going to be a 90-degree angle right there. So this is 90 and this is 90. Check. If the measure of RSU, and just follow it, RSU, and see which angle they're talking about. That's the easiest way to do it. 17x minus 3. The measure of angle RSU equals 17x minus 3. And the measure of angle UST is 6x minus 1. Now they want us to find missing measures. So we're just going to go ahead and take those two, the 17x minus 3, and add the 6x minus 1 and set it equal to 180 because that's a linear pair and they're supplementary. So 17x and 6x makes 23x, and negative 3 and negative 1 make negative 4. I'm going to add 4 to both sides and get 184. And then I'm going to take 184 and I'm going to divide it by 23. So x is 8. So I'm going to come over here and put 8. All right, let's see what else they want to know. They want to know what RSU is. RSU. Yeah, we could do that. But I'm going to look at this from a different point of view. Let's look at UST. UST. Isn't that one easier to get? So the measure of angle UST is 6 times 8 minus 1. So that's what? 48 minus 1, which is 47. It would be easier to get that one first. And then since they want to find the other one, to find the measure of angle RSU, since they both equal 180, just subtract 47 from 180 instead of having to plug in 8 times 17 minus 3. There's lots of different ways you could do it. So we're going to do 180 minus 47, and that's going to be 133. Of course, that's degrees. All right, let me erase some. All right, let's see what they want next. They want to find out the measure of angle WSV. So WSV, that's that one right there. Okay. They also want to find the measure of VSU. VSU. Okay, so we knew this one was 47 degrees. And we know, I'm going to use a different color so you know what I'm talking about, that this whole piece here has to be 133 degrees because we already figured out that 180 minus 47 is 133. And we know that this angle right here that I'm coloring in black is 90 degrees. So if I take 133 and I subtract 90 from it, in case you need to see that. Actually, I did that a little bit too much. You don't need to see all that. My bad. So you get 43. Now, what is 43? 43 is this piece right here. They didn't ask us for it, but we had to go find it first. I'm going to erase some of this. Now, they want to know what WSV is. Oh, yeah, they did ask for that one, didn't they? WSV. Okay, we can do that one, 43. I was thinking of VSU. This one. Clear this out. '90's this, right? So if you're going to find the measure of VSU, all you're going to do to find the measure of angle VSU is to add 90 plus 47. So that's 137 degrees. All right, so your homework is to finish this study sheet. I have it uploaded by Monday night. And make sure that you go back and finish the segments lab. We're going to have a test on Tuesday. And I hope you have a great day. I miss seeing you guys. Bye.